So, what's become of the Amber?
Sorry, nothing yet. But my little helper is creating quite the commotion. Everything will work out just fine.
As long as you can keep your dog under control.
He's a good boy. Predictable.
Fine. Keep your mutt. But don't come crying to me if you get bit.
Leon, changed your mind yet?
Ada?
Assuming you haven't, I've got a tip for you. Seems like something big is about to go down in the throne room. Babysitting's tough, huh?
Hey, Ada! Ada! Perfect.
What's up, you guys? This is One Classic Gamer here. Welcome me to Part 10, Chapter 10 of RE4 Remake Professional S+. Yep, we're still going strong here. Haven't given up yet. Hope you guys haven't given up yet. If you're attempting the challenge or if you have been following along with me up until this point, I commend you. You are amazing, okay? This chapter has two of the arguably, in my opinion, the most annoying rooms in the entire game. Like, literally back to back. It has the ballroom section in the beginning, and then it has the double Garrador room, which is so fucking painful to get through, man. I swear. I created our previous save. I created at the beginning of this chapter, basically, before we started the chapter. So, basically, you know, we saved during the whole chapter end screen, which means that we have to hold off on saving until later on in this chapter. So here, when you get into this room, there's two bugs. As soon as you vault over, there are going to be two more bugs, but if you shoot them in the eyes, which is not easy to do, by the way, they usually fall down and like tumble down. I've got a lot of strats of my own that I'm going to give you guys and, you know, share with you guys in this video, because I played this part of the game over and over and over so many times. It was like I had become so familiar with it that it was just, I'd become a little bit crazy in the process of this. So yeah, I have a very specific way of doing this. This is another room where you're going to have to take your time here, to be honest, because there's a lot of these bugs and they can easily overwhelm you and fuck you over. So we're going to snipe that guy, unequip the scope, because in my opinion, they're all going to start coming and flying at us now, and it's easier to aim at these guys without the scope. So that's why I unequipped the scope there. I tried to get that guy, but he fell down. Use the sniper as many times as you can, and then if you need to, switch to the submachine gun. I would only switch to the submachine gun when, you know, you have no choice, like when you're backed into a corner and they're literally about to get you. So no weapon that you have in this is really a one-hit kill. The sniper is if you hit them in the face, but these guys are really hard to hit in the head because they move around so much. So I got very unlucky there. He charged at me so quick. It was like 1 second he was like halfway across the screen, and the next second, like, boom, there he was. We're going to try to prioritize saving our gunpowder here, because we're going to craft heavy grenades, but I think you need like 12 gunpowder in order to craft heavy grenades. But usually in the beginning section here, I think there's about 5 or 6 of them that you have to deal with before you start heading down the stairs, and we're not going to rush this. We're going to go down the stairs, trigger this guy to come up, and then this is going to aggro more of them to come our way. Another like 5 or 6 of them. There's a lot of them in this room, and the best way to get through this room, in my opinion, is to take your time, because if you try to rush your way through this, you could probably do it, like if you have shotgun shells, for instance, but, you know, I'm mostly using the pistol to keep him off of me. And yeah, like in this case in particular, I'm gonna use the submachine gun. I got really lucky there and got an awesome fucking sniper shot, literally a no scope shot. Yeah, at this point we're clear. So head on down, and we're gonna grab a few things. We should be good for the time being. Sometimes there is a guy camouflaged here to our left in this area that we're about to go into, so be on the lookout for him, and he wasn't here this time, so I didn't really have to worry about him, but we're going to grab this herb and grab this treasure here. And hand grenade. And then there's a guy here, camouflage. We're going to take him out with the pistol. I usually clear this area to the left because we're going to be going up and pulling the lever above us, like, first before we pull the other one. And the reason why we're going to be doing that is we're going to be doing that for a very specific reason, as you're about to see. I clear that guy with the pistol. Here I pull the submachine gun out, and I try to take as many of them out as I can. I wouldn't risk going up and knifing them if there's like a shit ton of them, because we're at half health right now, and these guys can easily bring you down to critical health or like no health. And at that point, it's a massive headache because you have to start over again. So here it seems like they've kind of chilled out a bit, so I'm going to go up and pull the first lever. This really is just about, you know, advancing, getting some bugs to come out, killing the ones you can, backtracking if you need to a little bit so that they don't overwhelm you, and then just really taking your time and clearing them out. We're going to snipe this one. Usually that's a one-hit kill, but it didn't one-hit kill him that time. There's another guy camouflaged right here, and then there's another guy camouflaged in the back. And then there's another guy that's going to jump right there. And then more than likely another one that's going to fly at you here. You should definitely play this particular part with your headphones in. I didn't have my headphones in because I had died so many times on this that for me personally, it's just the way I am when I'm doing these hard modes. Like, I get tired of listening to the dialogue repeat when I have to do certain sections over again. It's a very minor nitpick, but it really bugs the shit out of me, especially if you're stuck on a boss. Like, I don't want to have to listen to the same dialogue repeat like over and over and over again. Like the video that I posted for Silent Hill 2 yesterday, uploaded last night at like 5 p.m. There was a boss where it was driving me crazy because I had to keep listening to him repeat the dialogue over and over and over again. So I literally had to tune that fight out. But it's one of those fights where it benefits you to listen to it because you need your headphones to like listen to all of those like audio cues. But I made it through this only because I had already done this so many times that it was like muscle memory for me. For the most part, there are a lot of bugs that are in very specific spots, but a lot of the other bugs that are flying at us right now are completely randomized. So, you know, the bugs that are attacking me right now will probably not attack you at the exact same time. So just constantly be checking your back, going 360 when you're going through these areas, making sure there's no bugs. Yeah, that's the harder lever to get. The next one is a lot easier in my opinion, but it can still fuck you over and you could still die. So I'd recommend obviously being cautious. I like to shoot this guy first from here. It doesn't alert any of the other ones. Sometimes you'll have a guy camouflaged there, but thankfully there wasn't. I was on the lookout for guys above me there. There is a guy that's always going to start advancing towards you once you get about halfway through this like area. Where we're going to shoot him dead. And there's another guy that's going to drop down right here. And I think there's like 4 or 5 more that we're going to deal with here in this particular area. They're going to start flying up from the chasm, basically, I believe. Yep, well, that guy is. The other ones are going to start flying down, I think. But here I got swarmed by 2 guys, so just use your herbs, but don't waste your herbs. Try your best to conserve them. I mean, the goal is to like not get hit and to take them all out while saving ammo and doing this as quickly as possible, which is not easy. you're going to fail at this several times, just like the rest of the game. But this particular save, I think, was brutal. So, yeah, we're going to grab this treasure here in the corner before we pull this next lever. It's an ornate beetle. And we should be in the clear at this point. There's one more guy, actually two more guys. One guy is going to be camouflaged here. And then there's another guy that's going to fly up as you're approaching the lever. But if you shoot him down, pull the lever, and then jump down, you should make it through the rest of this part like literally no problem. And congrats, you've made it through the ballroom. Now we are on to the double Garrador room, which is arguably the most annoying room in the game, in my opinion. So just take this guy out, and then, yeah, now we can leave.
Oh, Mr. Kennedy, not much of a night, are you? Your princess is a spirited individual. I must say, she gave us a considerable amount of trouble.
Great. There's two of them.
Okay, here we go. So first things first, this is really, really quick what we're going to do. We're going to snipe all three of these guys in the head. We're going to run around, grab this flash grenade here. A lot of the times you can run through this hallway here without worrying about any of them like coming at you because they're still, you know, anchored to the wall. But this guy happened to like roam around the corner and, you know, basically cause trouble. This entire room, I'm just going to say right now, you can follow what I do, but at a certain point, you're going to have to just figure it out. This room is literally all about adapting, improvising, and thinking on your feet because, you know, they're going to throw enemies at you. What I like to, one of the reasons why I like to take those guys out in the beginning and run around the side here is because when the guys are distracted, the double Garradors, when you shoot that bell there, they're attracted to it. They're both going to be here, and the enemies are going to start coming this way too. So hopefully, when you chuck those heavy grenades, most of the stray enemies will get caught in the blast radius. Here I'm using pretty much all of the throwables that I have to try to take at least one of them out, because when you have one less, it's less stressful to deal with. And thankfully, that grenade blast killed this one in particular. So now we just have to worry about the other guy. And it's all about using the sniper here. I got him twice with the sniper, which was very, very lucky. And then I got him again with the knife. But these guys in the corner, and you know, in the background there, were really giving me trouble. They brought me down to critical health, but thankfully I had one last first aid spray, and I was able to get that knife strike on this guy. So as soon as you get the knife strike, if you can, you know, like if you're in this position, make a run for it because he's kind of swinging around like a maniac right now. Make a run for it. What you could do if there are a bunch of enemies in front of you is you could shoot one of the guys in front of you with a pistol, and then he'll become attracted to the pistol shot and take out the guys, allowing you to like only have to deal with him and less stragglers. But here I was just running away and, you know, trying to retreat a little bit before I made my next move. And thankfully, that final sniper shot did it, basically. So this room is incredibly difficult. I cannot understate it. Or, was that the right word? Yeah, I think it was. I can't state it enough how fucking difficult this fucking room was. I failed here so many times, and there was a point in time where I just didn't feel like I was going to get through it. But I did, and you can do it too. You just have to keep trying, keep dying, keep failing, and you should do fine. Once you pass the ballroom section enough times, that part in particular isn't as tough to get through. But this room is like always tough because you never know what's going to happen. But yeah, now we're basically just looting the area, And we're done with the hardest part of the chapter, in my opinion. We do have the vertigo fight later, but I have some strats that I'm going to show you guys for that when we get there. That'll hopefully help you get through that particular section with relative ease, you know. But like I said, don't be afraid to loot the area. I mean, we don't really have time right now. We're above 3.5 hours in our playtime, so we really do gotta haul ass at this point in the game. We gotta beat the game in 2 hours at this point, which is kind of crazy. So you're gonna see me pick it up quite a bit, the pace, and speed up quite a bit. So put the horns in, the horses or unicorns, whatever. And yeah, this door is unlocked, and now we can proceed to the second half of the chapter.
Ashley!
Leon, stop! No, don't come any closer!
Are you hurt?
Watch out!
Please, do continue. Do not resist, my dear. It serves only to make you suffer all the worse.
Please, please!
You sick!
Aquí nos despedimos, señor Kennedy.
Hang in there, Ashley. I'm coming for you.
Okay, so this is another section of the game where I definitely could have saved a little bit more time and sped it up a little bit, but you're going to see me take a little bit of time here and walk around a little bit more than I have been in this entire chapter, only because I was so paranoid. I knew there were enemies up ahead, and I didn't want to fucking, like, die and lose all of that progress, but thankfully I made it to the next save, so this part is super easy. We only have to deal with 3 Novistadors here. Actually, there's 4 of them. And they're all incredibly easy because they take way less shots to kill. I saw an herb there on the map, was trying to go back and grab it, but I wasn't able to. And as you can clearly see, I was paranoid here. I didn't know, I didn't remember this part, and I was kind of freaking out. But you know, I made it through, so I did all right in the end. Overall, this entire playthrough up until this point, rewatching each run for all of these chapters, like, this is one of my better ones, I think. I did some pretty impressive things in this chapter, and I'm pretty impressed with a lot of the way I handled a lot of the encounters in this chapter. But these guys, you only have to shoot like 3 or 4 times. Once their body rises up from the water, they're pretty much dead, so here, when you're running across this thing, you don't have to worry about any of them. But when you jump down, there are going to be 3 of them that are going to come at us. So, first guy is going to be right here. And like I said, just keep shooting him until that body comes out of the water. Sometimes you do have to shoot him more times, but it's fine. There's another guy right here. This path right here kind of bends and turns a little bit. It goes on a few twists and turns, but it's not that hard to find your way around here if you've done it at least one time. So here I had to switch to the machine gun, but I made it. And then I had this one last herb, thankfully. I have those bolts that I really don't need. Actually, I'm going to sell them, I think, in a few minutes to do some upgrades. But we got an elegant crown here. You don't need to grab this. It's just a note. And yeah, now we're pretty much chilling. So if you've made it here to this point, or like this exact spot, congrats. You have made it to save number 9, I believe. Yeah, save number 9. So congrats. It's only going to be be uphill from here, trust me. You know, if you've made it this far, you can make it through the rest of the game. Although I will say that chapter 12 is also really fucking annoying. You know, the double Garrador room is something, but I think the clock tower and just chapter 12 as a whole, because of the way I chose to do that chapter, and then the way I had to do it to save time, you know, that chapter sucked really, really badly. But, yeah, we're not there yet, so chapter 11 is pretty tame, I think. And for some reason, I don't find the island section to be that hard anymore, you know? It's really short, and you can beat it in literally like an hour or so. We're going to be prioritizing doing some upgrades here. I shouldn't have done this, but I decided to sell this without fully inlaying it with gemstones just because I was desperate. And what I was actually, I think, trying to do here is I knew that we were going to be fighting the Vertigo up ahead. And I was, prior to recording this, I was looking up videos on how to beat the Vertigo, like, really, really easily, because I wanted to get that trophy for defeating the Vertigo, but I died here several times after this save in particular, and there was no way I was going to kill this thing with all the ammo that they give me in this next area. So that was why I was trying to prioritize buying the Magnum and upgrading the power on it, but I couldn't. So instead, I focused on the ammo capacity for this, and I believe the reload speed for the pistol. So there's another crate right here, and we're at 346, I think. I didn't catch that fully. So we're gonna create our next save right here. Yeah, there's also a treasure here that you want to shoot down. You're going to want to shoot down. It has a spino. And we're going to be doing the Vertigo now. So craft some shotgun shells. I usually register a shortcut for this thing right here. Same with the heavy grenades, because we're going to use, I think, one of them at a point in time. It's good to have one on reserve for this. Reload everything that you can. I'm basically just going to loot this entire area. There's a box right here with some ammo. There's a treasure right here in between these cabinets. Handgun ammo there that I just picked up. And another crate that you can smash. And, yeah, little cinematic through this door. He is definitely coming. For sure. Man. I'm so scared. Not really. So you don't have to worry about him right now. Obviously, this is like just kind of the him flexing phase. Like I'm gonna beat you, even though he's not. We're gonna beat him. Actually, we're gonna not even gonna fight the Vertigo because, like I said, we don't have enough ammo to kill him, and it's best to save your ammo for the beginning of chapter 11, which has some pretty crazy parts. Yeah. When you're ready, pull this lever, and we're still gonna freeze the shit out of him with all of these, buttons and stuff that we can press. Here, I usually run around the corner there. That triggers him to come out. It's smart to wait for him a little bit, but I got lucky, and he came around the corner that I needed him to, and I was able to freeze him. Once you freeze him, you don't have to worry about him coming after you, because he's literally going to run back into the vents. So just come here and turn this lever, or wheel.
What's your move?
And, yeah, the hunt is on now. So what I usually do, I haven't really seen many people do this. I kind of figured this out myself. We're gonna use those switches to like freeze him to buy us time. This is really just a waiting game, waiting for the elevator to arrive. So we're gonna spend about like 4 minutes on this. But what I usually like to do is I usually start by making my way here all the way to the beginning of the room and using this switch on him first. I didn't actually get to freeze him this time. I got very unlucky. Most of the time, it's pretty player friendly in that even if he's far away, like once the you hit the button, he goes into the shit and like it like actually freezes him. I didn't know how to actually describe it, like the frozen stuff. I guess it would be like liquid nitrogen or something. I don't fucking know. So I come in here and I grab this treasure. Usually after 3 tentacle hits, he's gonna come out, and he gave me a surprise there, but thankfully I wasn't listening to the game. I was tuning out, so I wasn't really freaked out as much. But I bet you right now, if a decent amount of you watch the no commentary version of this, one of you is gonna scream during that part where I turn around and he's literally right fucking there. But every time he does the 3 tentacle hits, he's usually gonna come out at that point. I usually like to run for the door here, and we're gonna use this switch on him next. If you're quick enough, you can get the latch up and through the door before he attacks you. And all we're gonna do is freeze him and then just kick the shit out of him and then run right by him, because he takes a decent amount of time to break out of that ice. It gives you just enough time to loot this area, and sometimes he jumps back into the vents again, but here he's still chasing after us. So we're just gonna shoot these like barrels here. I may have missed some handgun ammo there, but now he jumped back into the vents. So basically we're just going to run all the way back to that first switch. And we're going to do the whole, like, back and forth game with this guy in order to beat this boss, or, live this boss, basically, and get on that elevator without having to worry about him at all. But I usually run into the room, and I try to trigger him to come out. At this point, he usually comes out, hit the switch, it'll freeze him for you, and then now we're going to run back into that first area again, because usually this switch in particular, you can hit it like twice, and the elevator is almost here. So once you're done hitting the switches, you can't freeze him anymore, and at that point, he's just going to chase you on foot pretty much for the rest of the fight. So we're going to do this whole technique that I'm going to walk you guys through really, really quickly, because this is pretty much the end of the video, and then do my outro. But first, we're going to use this switch on him. So I usually trigger him to do the thing, and he usually jumps out of this vent right here. As soon as he does, we're going to freeze him. We're going to do this technique afterwards, after we freeze him and kick him down, where every time we go through a doorway, we're going to spin around. Once he goes through the doorway after us, you can literally just run right by him and through the doorway again. And it takes him some time to like actually crawl through the doorway. You can keep repeating this over and over and over again until the elevator arrives, and not even have to worry about really taking damage from him. As you can see, I went right by him without him hitting me, and I'm going to demonstrate that again. The elevator arrives like right here, so you should be able to literally just run right by him without getting hit. So that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please comment, like, subscribe, make a break for the elevator, and yeah, next time on RE4 Remake Professional, we will be doing Chapter 11. So I will see you guys then. Peace.
Pitiful little lamb.
Your suffering came in, just as it has from Noah's daughter.
Who has joined us in communion,
And now she is of our flesh, of our blood. My faithful disciple will show her the path.
Go now. Deliver to these vagrant children their salvation. As you wish.
I'll make it cheap for you.